Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. The festive fixtures are well underway and we are here at Ellen Road for Leeds versus Manchester City, where this is the last game for Gameweek 17 in the Premier League. As the last teams to play, Leeds have not moved from their 15th place position they hold. However, City have dropped to third with Newcastle's win, putting them 1 point above the Blues. But Pep's men do have 2 games in hand, including tonight's game, where they can get beyond the Magpies back into second place. The main danger, though, for everyone in the Premier League is Arsenal, who have got 40 points from a possible 45, and City need a win to close the gap back to 5 points against the Gunners. For Leeds, a shock win would lift them up to 12th, but a shock win isn't something Leeds can't achieve, as they did beat Liverpool at Anfield back in late October and also beat at home Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel back in game week 3. The record for Leeds against Man City last season was one to forget. An aggregate scoreline of 11-0 is something that they will definitely want to improve on this time around. But with Haaland back and having the World Cup to rest, the Norwegian will look to come back and haunt his place of birth. So, for the final game of the Christmas fixtures, will Jesse Marsch defeat Guardiola with this battle at Ellen Road? It's going to be a key battle, I believe. Erling Haaland, key battle pretty much against the entire Leeds 11, but mainly the 2 centre-backs. Who's he going to maybe drift onto? Is he going to try and bully both of them? Try his luck with both centre-backs and see how much luck he gets. We're going to have to wait and see, but Erling Haaland is starting for Manchester City, as you can see. Up front, he's got so much quality around him that sometimes, we give so much praise to Haaland and all the goals he scored. But the fact he's got so many top players around him, his goals aren't just him, it's the whole team, coming together and just sort of supplying him with some unbelievable creativity. And it's something that Leeds are going to have to deal with. It's going to be a difficult game. They are at home, so they have home advantage, which I think will be a massive, massive plus for Leeds and Jesse Marsch. They're actually not, although we've had a 6-week break, before the break they were actually in decent form in the last couple of games. In their last 3 games, they have won 2, and there were big scorelines in those games. Obviously, their last game they played, they were beaten by Tottenham away 4-3. But the one before that, they beat Bournemouth at home 4-3. And the one before that was Liverpool away, where they won 2-1 on the 29th of October. So Leeds can definitely put performances in against the big teams. Although they don't get the result every single time, the majority of the times this season, they have got the results they want. So it's all about if they're on it today and if they can stop Haaland and De Bruyne and all the City players. They're so dangerous. It's going to be hard to contain them all. But I'll go through the lineups in more detail in a couple minutes' time, because there is a few changes for both sides from their last Premier League starting 11s. Because we've got to remember as well, for Manchester City, their last starting 11 that played in the Premier League were beaten by Brentford 2-1. You might remember back on the 12th of November, it was a 2-1 home defeat. 2 Ivan Toney goals, 1 in the 98th minute, giving Brentford the winner. They want to bounce back, and they need to bounce back pretty quickly now. 8 points behind Arsenal. Yes, they've got a game in hand on Arsenal, so they can cut that gap from 8 points to 5. But a loss here, a draw here, Arsenal pull away even further. It would take a big, disaster for Arsenal to really drop off as much as Manchester City will need them to if they drop any more points. Kickoff is just under 6 minutes away. If you are new, please like and subscribe. And I'm going to go through the lineups very quickly now as the teams are in the tunnel. Manchester City going to be in their away strip of a black and a red. Just got to sort this out. Well, I'll go through the lineups in a minute, but I'm just having difficulties with the timer at the minute, which is not great. There we go. I do apologise about this. Yeah, we might be struggling for a timer at this point, unfortunately. I think we do have it working. So I'll go through the lineups now. I apologise for that. So we're going to go to start with the Leeds starting 11, and they've got Ilan Melier in goal for them this afternoon. He's making his 88th Premier League appearance of his career. He's currently got the most Premier League appearances in the entire Leeds starting 11 and squad this season. Rasmus Christensen also starts at right back. He was one of the new signings from RB Salzburg in the summer. Robin Koch and Liam Cooper, the captain, make up the two centre-backs, with Pascal Strauch playing at left-back, currently signed a new contract up until 2027. Changing midfield, Adam Forshaw comes in for a suspended Tyler Adams, who got sent off in the last league game against Spurs. He'll play alongside Mark Rocker, who joined from Bayern Munich for £10 million in the summer as well. But just in front of them is Sam Greenwood. He joined in August of 2020 from Arsenal for around £1.5 million. He's got 1 goal and an assist this season in the Premier League, and they both came in the 4-3 victory against Bournemouth in Gameweek 15. On the right-hand side is Wilfried Nonso. He is an Italian. He grew up in Inter Milan's academy. He joined this summer from Zurich for just under £4 million. On the left is Brendan Aronson. He was at the World Cup for the America, but he did not make a single start in the 4 appearances he made. And up front is the Spaniard Rodrigo, is captain when Liam Cooper is absent. He's had a great season so far this season. He's got 9 Premier League goals, and that is exactly what Leeds need from their starting striker. They need him to be scoring goals, and that's exactly what he's doing. He only got 6 last season in 31, so already a vast improvement in a shorter amount of games for the Spaniard. And their bench is Robles, Ayling, Llorente, Firpo, Click, Giabi, Harrison, Somerville, and Gelhardt as well is on the bench. And for Manchester City, Ederson starts in goal. Rico Lewis makes his first ever Premier League start. He's already got 3 appearances this season in the Premier League, all at home, but this is his first start. John Stones will play at centre-back alongside Manuel Akanji, with Nathan Ake making up as a makeshift left-back. João Cancelo and Sergio Gomez, 2 more natural left-backs, are on the bench. Rodri, Ilkay Gundogan and De Bruyne make that midfield three that is so effective for Manchester City. Gundogan starts as captain. Mahrez gets the nod ahead of the likes of Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva and Cole Palmer. He scored in midweek against Liverpool. Jack Grealish is on the left. Not a great season for him so far. Only the 1 goal in all competitions that came against Wolves in game week 8 in the Premier League. He will hopefully be providing some assistance for some goal scoring for Erling Haaland, who has currently got 18 goals so far in the Premier League, 5 in the Champions League. He's on for 24 in all competitions already this season, and the Norwegian comes back to the place of birth that he was born in Leeds. Can he make the difference today for Manchester City? Their bench is Ortega, Walker, Laporte, Gomez, Cancelo, Phillips, coming back to his old club, Cole Palmer, Foden and Bernardo Silva make the bench for Manchester City. as we are very, very soon to be underway in this Premier League game. That consists of Leeds United versus Manchester City. It is the 109th meeting between the two sides. It's their 19th in the Premier League, and Leeds actually have more success against Manchester City in the Premier League. In their 18 meetings, Leeds have won 7 times. Manchester City have won 6. Read into that what you will. It might be a little bit different this time around, as Leeds only regained their spot back into the Premier League in 2020 after having around a 16-year absence. So times have changed from City squads back in early 2000s to their squads now in 2020 and onwards. But they have got decent successes against Manchester City. They are at home as well, which will bring their advantage. It's the 14th largest stadium as well in England, Ellen Road. As we are going to get underway, it will be Manchester City kicking off, kicking from right to left in this first half. Leeds from left to right. Referee is Stuart Atwell, who is actually the youngest ever Premier League referee in history. He made his debut at the age of 25, I believe in 2008. He officiates today. We've got Jared Gillet on VAR as well. And we are ready to get underway. As both sets of players and staff take the knee. And we are underway here at Ellen Road. It's Manchester City travelling to face Leeds United. Even though you can label it a Boxing Day fixture, it's technically isn't on Boxing Day, it's on the 28th. But these two teams are the last to face each other from this game week, as it's early pressure on Grealish, who finds himself on the halfway line being pressed by Greenwood and Rodrigo. City keep possession with Akanji just inside his own half. City have made 4 changes from their last Premier League outing against Brentford, as Ake looks for Erling Haaland in behind. He's on the edge of the box. He shoots. It's a great save from Meslier. He's still rolling towards the goal. Strout clears off the line. Haaland keeps it alive on the byline. It is cleared in the end by Christensen. But what a lively start from Erling Haaland, the Norwegian. He timed his run perfectly. He's definitely onside. It's a great ball in behind from the Dutchman Nathan Ake, who's starting ahead of the likes of Cancelo and Sergio Gomez, and it's nearly 1-0 in under a minute. And obviously it's Erling Haaland who had the chance, but it was a good save from Meslier. Came out towards the edge of the box and spread himself big enough to make the stop for Leeds United. They've not kept many clean sheets so far in the Premier League this season, only the 2 so far. And they already breached the back line, Manchester City. Grealish to Gundogan on halfway. Rodri back to Akanji in his own half. The number's 25, who was at the World Cup for Switzerland, where he was able to score against Portugal, but it was in the 6-1 beating they got in the round of 16. Mahrez switch out wide to the left-hand side to Jack Grealish in the left wing position. He's 1-on-1 with Christensen, gets it through his legs, and is bundled over by the right back, but the referee doesn't see it as a foul. It's nodded forward to Gundogan on the edge of the box. Across to Mahrez. He's drifted more centrally into the forward areas for City as Grealish gets a cross in from the box on the left-hand side. It's cleared away by Leeds eventually. And it rolls all the way through to Edison. He's in a full blue strip for Manchester City. Ake inside to Rodri, halfway into the Leeds half. Now, City have had a fantastic start to the game so far. Again, another ball looking in behind. This time on the left-hand side. It's Mahrez who does eventually come out with it, and he heads it to De Bruyne. Back to Mahrez, who's been clipped from behind by Adam Forshaw. And that'll be a free kick for Manchester City. Riyad Mahrez winning it. He had his back to goal. We just got there ahead of Forshaw, who then kicked the left ankle of Riyad Mahrez, and that commits the foul. It was a really impressive save from Meslier on Erling Haaland there. He'll be looking to score possibly his 20th league goal already, Erling Haaland, if he bags a brace or more today. He's a scary, scary man. 6'4". He stands at possibly even 6'5", the 22-year-old. Mahrez takes a cheeky one up towards Haaland, who chests it down, turns, tries to shoot, slightly off balance. So it's able to be cleared by Strout, just showing the intuition of Manchester City to take the free kick so quickly. Mark Rocker couldn't really deal with Haaland there. He had to be helped by Pascal Struijk. And the first 3.5 minutes is all Manchester City, and it's with Akanji in his own half. Manchester City have got the 2 draws, both coming away from home this season against Aston Villa and Newcastle. And 2 of their losses that they picked up in the Premier League, 1 at home to Brentford in their last game, and then 1 away as well to Liverpool. And here is Leeds enjoying a bit of possession. It's Greenwood trying to play it through to Rodrigo in the Manchester City half, but it's picked up by Akanji as it was misplaced towards the Spaniard. Rico Lewis also misplaces a pass. And here we go. Leeds push forward here with Struijk. Ball inside to Rodrigo. Tries to flick it in behind him towards Aronson, but it's picked up by Ake in the box. Played forward to Grealish. Back to goal. And he's clipped from behind by Sam Greenwood. And that'll be a free kick for Manchester City deep in their own half in the left-back area. Grealish didn't know where to go. He had, like I say, he had his back to the Leeds goal, even though it was quite far away. But he was clipped from Greenwood, and I think it was a rightly given free kick in the end by Stuart Atwell. It all came from a Rico Lewis poor pass. He's only at the age of 18. It's his first ever Premier League start. But he's got to get that out of his game. He had a fantastic game against Liverpool in the League Cup last Thursday, and that was his 7th Manchester City appearance for the first team. It's Grealish, he's inside the Leeds half from the left-hand side, goes into Akanji, forward to Rico Lewis, who picks up that midfield spot that we usually see Kyle Walker and João Cancelo pick up when they're playing, kind of drifting inside to the midfield to put in extra bodies for Manchester City to work their magic as Stones releases to Mahrez. And he's been clipped late there, Stones, and he has stayed down for the moment. He's now just on his knees and he's just slowly getting back to his feet. The Englishman, who also had a pretty successful World Cup playing alongside Harry Maguire, as De Bruyne looks for Haaland in behind in the box. It's well collected by Meslier. I do seem to have an issue with the timer, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I can't get the timer working, so I'm going to have to tell you what minute we're in. I'll keep you all updated. As Mahrez breaks away, finds the overlap with Rico Lewis in the Leeds box. He flies it to De Bruyne. Oh my word, that was close. City had galloped forward in the 6th minute. Mahrez had found Rico Lewis, who had joined him in the attack, just in the box, and he laid it off just to the edge of the box to De Bruyne, who got on it first time, and for a standard of player like Kevin De Bruyne, he's probably a bit upset that he's missed by quite the distance he has. It was quite wide from the Belgian, who's obviously come off the back of a disappointing World Cup campaign with his country. And coming onto his right foot, you'd expect better from the Belgian there. There's Stones challenges Nonso, but he loses out in the end. Stones, who's back on his feet and not moving, in a way there. He's been injured, so he seems like he'll be able to continue as Stones goes back to Edison. Has to clear it away first time, because Rodrigo was pressing the Brazilian. He seems to have put blonde streaks into his hair there. Edison, who made 1 appearance in the World Cup as he was second choice to Alisson. He was in their last group game against Cameroon where they were beaten 1-0. There'll be a throw in for Manchester City halfway inside their own half on the right-hand side where Rico Lewis takes the throw in and throws it back to John Stones. He's played the full 90 minutes in his last 3 Premier League games. He's hoping to continue that because he seems to always have some injury issues during seasons. John Stones, he only made the 14 Premier League appearances last season, and he got 1 goal, and that was in the 7-0 thumping that Manchester City gave to Leeds United. That was back in mid-December of 2021. 7-0 it was. De Bruyne scored twice. Foden, Grealish, Mahrez, Stones and Ake were the goal scorers. We're just under 8 minutes in. It's Manchester City who have got all the possession. Ake at left back just joins the Leeds United half and finds Grealish. First time ball looking for Gundogan. It's dispossessed. It's now Christensen who goes down the line. Aronson will give chase. He'll be met by Rodri in the right wing position, but he keeps it away from Rodri and loses that way too easily there, Aronson. And it can be played to Grealish, who's found himself in the City half. Gets away from the white players, the white shirt players trying to surround him, and he releases it to Mahrez on the right hand side. halfway inside the Leeds half. He goes inside to Rico Lewis, the number 82, only aged 18. Birthday is in November. It's now to Gundogan, about 35 yards away from goal. Goes to his left to Nathan Ake, joined the attack. Back inside and backwards it goes towards Akanji. Just about gets there ahead of Rodrigo. Forward by Ake to Grealish. Completes a 1-2. Loses out as he tries to play inside to Gundogan. And there's battling going on in the midfield between the two sides. And it's Rodrigo who comes out of it. And he releases it to Adam Forshaw, who looks to burst forward. He gets away from Haaland, away from Ake, to Aronson. Tries a 1-2 with Greenwood, but it goes out for a throw-in for City in their own half. Not too bad from Leeds. We've hit the 90th minute. Jesse Marsch sending out instructions to his players, the 49-year-old. He used to play right midfielder in his playing days. Won 4 trophies with Salzburg, and that was 2 league titles and 2 cups as well. Does have an unwanted record against Manchester City. Well, obviously, he wasn't in charge for the 7-0 beating they got at the Etihad last season, but he was in charge for the meeting at this place last season where they lost 4-0. And he was also in the same season when he was in charge of RB Leipzig. They were beaten 6-3 at the Etihad in September of 2021. So does concede a lot of goals against Guardiola's men. But he'll be looking to change that tonight. Rico Lewis. Forward to De Bruyne. First time pass to Rodri, just inside the centre circle for Manchester City in the Leeds half. Into Gundogan. First time ball to De Bruyne. Loses out to Robin Koch. And it's now Adam Forshaw. Turns Gundogan very nice and plays a forward ball to Brendan Aronson, who's found himself on the left-hand side. Plays forward to Wilfried Nonso, the Italian. Finally getting a couple starts now for Leeds in the starting 11. It's only his 4th appearance of the season in the Premier League for the Italian winger. It's now to the right side to Christensen. Tries to nod it forward towards Greenwood. He's out-muscled by Ake, just inside the City half. And it's one back from the Dutch international. And it's played back to Edison. He's got the 8 clean sheets in all competitions so far. 6 of them in the Premier League. Manchester City haven't scored more than 3 goals though in the last 3 Premier League games, which I think should be a positive for Leeds. Maybe they might not score as many as they think. City in their last 3 games have played the likes of Brentford, where they only scored 1 and got beat. They played Fulham before that and only won 2-1. And before that was Leicester away win, where they only won 1-0. And in fact, Manchester City have only scored 1 goal in their last 4 away games in all competitions. They beat Leicester 1-0, but before that they had lost to Liverpool away. They drew to Dortmund and Copenhagen in the Champions League 0-0. City keep settled possession in their own half. It's back with Edison, the number 31 for Manchester City. It's now with Manuel Akanji, who did win 2 league titles at his time with Basel in Switzerland in the 2015-16 season and the 2016-17 season. So has got experience of winning league titles, Akanji, even though they were around 5-6 years ago, and it's not quite the Premier League, the Swiss league, but the league titles nonetheless. As again, it's not too heavy of a press from Leeds, just allowing City to have the ball within their back line. As Edison gets his head up and plays out towards the right-hand side. That's a really lazy pass from the Brazilian. Too far forward for John Stones to latch onto, and it's a throw for Leeds, which they take quickly back into their own half with captain Liam Cooper. 12.5 minutes into this game at Ellen Road. It is Leeds United 0, Manchester City 0. One big chance to start the game off, and it was in the first minute with Erling Haaland. Good save from Meslier. Stop the Norwegian. Gundogan wins it here for Manchester City. De Bruyne looks play through Erling Haaland, just a bit overhit. Couldn't take it under his control there. The former Dortmund man. It can be cleared by Illan Meslier. It's up towards Nonso, who's bullied Rico Lewis off the ball. And he's kept it alive now with Pascal Struijk. Out to Nonso. Back it goes again to Liam Cooper, the Leeds United captain. Scottish international. Did again a red card the last time Leeds beat Manchester City. That was back in the 2020-2021 season where they beat Manchester City at the Etihad 2-1. He was sent off in the first half after a heavy challenge on Gabriel Jesus. But with 10 men, they were still able to win the match. That was under Marcelo Bielsa as Greenwood's got it on the right-hand side here. 1-on-1 with Gundogan halfway into the City half. Goes inside to Marc Roca. Forward ball to Rodrigo towards the edge of the box. He's kept it alive here. He goes back out to Sam Greenwood, who's kept wide right. Goes forward to Christensen. Then back to Roca. Across the halfway line to Cooper. Across to Robin Koch. Forward ball to Christensen. Looks in behind for Sam Greenwood. He's going to chase it. He will not get there, though, ahead of Manuel Akanji, who keeps it in. He's towards the corner flag on the left. Plays it forward to Grealish. He's clattered in from behind there. And it's caused a massive frustration for Marc Roca and the Leeds United fans. And Jesse Marsch is also absolutely furious at something. But it was definitely a foul. He didn't get the ball, Roca. He went right through Grealish as well. Oh, Marsch was furious with the giving of the free kick, but it was. He's gone right through the back of him to get a touch of the ball. It's definitely a free kick. And, yeah. Free kick from Manchester City in their left-back area. But as he fell to the ground, Jack Grealish having a smile, having a smirk on his face. He knows what this game will entail for him. There'll be a lot of kicks, a lot of tackles, a lot of fouls against him, but he's used to that. He's been used to that for the last 3-4 seasons, where he's been known for his running at defences. Ball looking in behind for Mahrez, and he gets to him. Pascal Struijk has misjudged the ball. Mahrez keeps it alive and gets it wide right to De Bruyne. Swings across in towards Ilkay Gundogan. Just misses his header from 6 yards out. Just goes beyond the German, and it's out for a Leeds United goal kick. Struijk, sigh of relief for him, as he completely misjudged the ball as it fell to Mahrez, who kept it alive and found De Bruyne. From that right-hand side, he's so good at putting the crosses in, and Gundogan got ahead of his man Christensen. And it looked like he was about to plant onto the head of the German, but he couldn't even get on the end of it in the end. Okay, Gundogan, the first signing in the Guardiola era at Manchester City, as the goal kick's been headed away by Ake. De Bruyne gets there first, Haaland holds it up, but he's surrounded by 3 Leeds United men, and they can take it off him, but then it's lost by Roca to Rodri for Manchester City, and he just about gets his pass wide right to Rico Lewis. Nonto nearly slid in and intercepted. Rico Lewis just calms the play down and goes back to John Stones on halfway. 16 minutes in, at the home of Leeds United, it's Leeds 0, Manchester City 0. Ake's wide left, and he finds him just above the halfway line. Finds Jack Grealish, just takes on Christensen, loses out though to the Danish right back, and it's back in possession for Leeds, who sends it down the right side to Aronson. Great ball from Greenwood. He's 1-on-1 with Akanji. He holds it up and looks in behind for the run of Rodrigo. Stones will get there first and deal with it on the left-hand side for City. Forward to Ake. Into the 18-yard box is Rodri. He has to be careful. He's been pressed by Aronson. Good ball to Ake, out wide left to Akanji. Forward to De Bruyne to come back to help his team. Play out from the back. Great play from Manchester City to get away from the Leeds United press. They spray it wide right to Rico Lewis in their own half. The 18-year-old who joined Manchester City at the age of 8 in 2012. Does have 2 appearances against Leeds United at under 18s level last season, where they drew 3-3, and they also beat Leeds United 8-3. So I'm sure Rico Lewis enjoyed that one. Mahrez, ball down looking for Gundogan in the final third. He just doesn't about get there. And he catches Liam Cooper late there. The Manchester City captain. Captain on captain there. He went to slide in there. Gundogan, he knew he wasn't going to get there and just completely took out Liam Cooper. To be fair, I'm surprised he's not been booked there. Okay, Gundogan. Completely missed the ball. Wasn't malicious, just tried to win the ball and he knew he wasn't going to get there. Meslier will take it with his left foot. Like I said before, Meslier is currently the one in the Leeds United squad with the most Premier League appearances of 87. And that puts him 23rd in their all-time Premier League list of appearance makers. Long throwing down the line for Leeds in towards their 18-yard box, headed away by Stones to Rodri, who then heads back to Ederson, who can collect with his hands. Smart play there from Rodri, who played all the minutes in the World Cup for Spain at centre-back. An unnatural position. He has played there a couple of times for Manchester City. It's Manuel Akanji. Has it in the City half. Not being pressed as of yet by a Leeds United man. Plays it forward to Haaland. First time ball looking for Rodri. But he wins it back as Rodrigo's touch was poor. So was Gundogan's. A bit messy here. De Bruyne just get a foot on hold of it. Gets a hold of it in the end. Mahrez inside to Rico Lewis. Back to Stones. Rodri on halfway for Manchester City. To Rico Lewis, who's again just come inside to the midfield position and works out wide to John Stones. Mahrez inside to Rico Lewis, back to John Stones and inside to Rodri. This is unbelievable play from City, the way they move the ball so slickly around the field. Lewis caught late as he released to John Stones, and that will be a free kick for Manchester City. Late challenge there by Adam Forshaw. Looks like the free kick will be delivered. Oh, it'll go short from Mahrez to Gundogan. Not got the best of angles for a cross, so we'll go for a long-range strike, and it's just gone wide. Meslier was very confident that that was going wide from Ilkay Gundogan. He driven it low across the ground, and it was just curling away from goal. It wasn't too far away. It was around 25 yards out from the German. You know, he's very confident there, Meslier, that that was going wide of the post. And he had to be sure there, the French international. He's got the 11 under-21 appearances for his country. Did not make the World Cup, but I'm sure he will soon be involved in the national team. He's a fantastic goalkeeper at the age of 22. Ake with the header towards De Bruyne. Loses out to Rocker, but he's clear. It's all gone as far as Grealish, who comes inside, and he's sprinting at the Leeds defence. And he's taken out by Pascal Struijk. What? No, he's not. I'm sure he was taken out. That is a ridiculous decision. I don't know if that's just me. Rodri's regained the ball, though, for Manchester City. Grealish is down in a lot of pain there. And play is stopped there by Stuart Atwell, the referee, because Grealish is down holding the side of his hip. I'm sure that was a foul. I'd have to see it again. I could be wrong, and I'll hold my hands up if I am wrong. He got the ball, and he's had to run at the defence, knocked it past Struijk, and was taken. I don't understand how that's not a free kick. He knocks it beyond the defender, and he's completely taken out by Pascal Struijk. I am amazed that's not a free kick. Pascal Struijk got none of the ball and completely took out Jack Grealish. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I'm adamant that's a free kick, to be honest. I think Pascal Struijk has definitely gotten away with one there, whereas Grealish is currently getting medical treatment just under 22 minutes into this match. Pep Guardiola just gives some instructions out to Manuel Akanji, the Swiss international. Grealish is back on his feet. And Grealish, I think, has given a few words to the referee, Stuart Atwell, who didn't give him the free kick that he would have wanted from that foul. Yeah, Grealish is not happy. He's even talking to the fourth official now, who is Michael Salisbury. I personally thought that was a free kick, to be honest, as the referee drops the ball to Akanji's feet and we get underway once again. As Grealish is allowed back in play. City just have the ball in their own half. 22.5 minutes in at Ellen Road. Still 0-0. City definitely been the side on top. Akanji on halfway. Across to Rodri. Then once more to Ake on the left-hand side. Furthest player out wide is Jack Grealish. Gets pressed immediately, so he has to play back to Nathan Ake. Across to Rodri. Back out to Ake at left back. A long ball, a high ball, down the channel looking for Haaland, who will not quite get there. Christensen just about beats the Norwegian to it. And Leeds play out from the back in their right back area. Ball goes forward, can't be picked up by Aronson. It's Rodri, the man to clean up for Manchester City once again and play out wide to Stones on halfway. And he's on the ball again here, Rodri. De Bruyne to Rico Lewis. Back out to John Stones, who gallops forward for Manchester City from centre-half. Twisting and turning. He's got pressure from Nonto, the winger. Rodri out to Ake. Grealish on the left-hand side. Goes back and across to Akanji. Forward to Rico Lewis. Plays it to Stones, who's the furthest player on the right-hand side. Forward to De Bruyne. Out to Mahrez. And it's back again on the halfway line to John Stones. City have only won 6 of their away fixtures this season in the Premier League. As they play the ball out on the side of Pascal Struijk, who will take the throw-in. They're away from home. Played 6, won 3, drew 2, lost 1. So it's not the most convincing away record in the Premier League for Manchester City, who win the throw-in from the place where Leeds United got their throw-in. Leeds think it should be theirs, but it's not been given, and Mahrez throws it back to Rico Lewis. We've just hit the 25th minute, still 0-0. And Rodri gets it that way to Nathan Ake at left back, 10 yards into the Leeds half. He plays it to Grealish, who's further out wide, but just has to go back to Nathan Ake once again. Jack Grealish yet to have a chance to run at this Leeds United defence. Stones. Again, can't go forward, so has to go across to Rodri. They're making it hard for them here, Leeds, who did go 8 games without a win before beating Liverpool, so they're on quite a horrid run, and Jesse Marsch's future was being questioned, but since then they've gone on a decent run of form, beating the likes of Liverpool and winning against Bournemouth as well at home in a classic 4-3. Grealish plays it back to Ake on halfway. Kanji goes for a switch towards Mahrez on the right. It's under hit. Struijk hurries a clearance from his right boot, but it's headed away and helped away by Greenwood. Headed back by Aronson to Christensen. Tries to clear it forward. It's deflected off Gundogan. It's in the air, and it's Robin Koch who takes over with a big header. Now Roca, ball forward, looking for Rodrigo. Overhit, and it will fall to the feet of John Stones. The first Premier League meeting between these two sides was a 4-0 victory for Manchester City back at Main Road in 1992. Eric Cantona played for Leeds that day, interestingly enough. But from 1969 to 1973, Leeds won 8 of their 10 games during that time against Manchester City. So, it does show that City's success is, or big success, and being so successful is from recent times. Greenwood in his own half, battling with LK Gundogan, wins the throw-in halfway in his own half. There's Kyle Walker on the bench for Manchester City. There's Leeds clear up the field. Ake wins the header. Rodri battles. Gundogan shoves. Free kick for for Leeds United, given away by the Manchester City captain, just inside the City half. The free kick for Leeds United. No real chances yet, though, for Leeds United. They are 20 minutes in, and they have restrained Manchester City from having the one big chance, which came from Erling Haaland in the first minute of the game. From them, we had a Gundogan shot, which went just wide. But Leeds United need to register a shot. They'll clip it in towards the box, but before they can even challenge for the ball in the air, a free kick's already been given by Stuart Atwell for a little bit of pushing and shoving. It was Liam Cooper grabbing a hold of John Stones, and Atwell saw that to be enough for a free kick, And he's just going to have a quick word with the Leeds United captain, Liam Cooper. But they did start brightly this season, Leeds. They got 2 wins and a draw in their first 3. But since then, it's not been as good as what they would have hoped. Sitting 2 points above the relegation zone currently. With Wolves sitting 18th at the minute. Rodri, ball forward to Gundogan. Out wide left to Grealish in the box. He's going to take it on his left foot. It's blocked quickly, though, by Rasmus Christensen. And it'll be a corner kick on the left-hand side for Manchester City. It was well done by Rodri to find Gundogan in between the lines. Worked it to Grealish. Probably took too long to release the ball, if that was going to be a cross or a shot. And Christensen was able to block effectively for Leeds United. And it'll be De Bruyne who stands over the corner kick. It'll be an in-swinger if he decides to cross. He will just glide the ball in and it goes straight into the hands of Illan Meslier. No run at all being made across the near post by Manchester City's player, which makes it a bit confusing why they took that corner tactic. He just glided it along, no real pace. It was a really poor set piece. Not quite sure what they were trying there, Manchester City, but Leeds won't mind at all. They get the goal kick. And they can breathe a little bit more. But in those first 3 league games I'm talking about where Leeds were pretty successful, it was a 2-1 home win to Wolves, where they did start 1-0 down, but goals from Rodrigo and an 8-0 own goal gave them the 3 points. And then they also then drew 2-2 to Southampton, but that time they went 2-0 up and lost the lead and ended up being 2-2. And then the game after that was that famous 3-0 victory against Chelsea, where the goal scoring started with Aronson closing down Edouard Mendy, and then from there they were able to dismantle Chelsea as Erling Haaland's in behind. Big save from Illan Meslier, and Strout clears, I think, for a corner. Second chance for Haaland, and it's 2-0 Meslier at the minute. Gundogan picked up in midfield just around the halfway line. He poked it forward to De Bruyne, who then slotted it through towards Erling Haaland, again on the edge of the box, took it with his left foot, and Meslier was out quick to close down the angle and stop the shot with his left knee. Like I say, 2 chances for Haaland, 2 saves from Illan Meslier. 31 minutes into the game. But they do have to defend the corner. And after the failure of De Bruyne from the last set piece from this left-hand side, from the corner, he has given the responsibilities to Ilkay Gundogan. He's got plenty of height to aim for. Plenty of aerial threat. Right arm raised for the German. Towards the near post again, headed away by a Leeds United man, but it falls to the edge of the box to Mahrez, who has to lay it back to Rico Lewis, who dinks it back in, comes off the head of Forshaw, and it will leave Gundogan's feet, and he will let it go for a corner. Once again, 3 in quick succession at this left-hand side. Gundogan takes it quickly to De Bruyne, to Grealish, lays it off to Gundogan from that left-hand side, gets a crossing towards Akanji. It's cleared by Leeds, helped forward by Rico Lewis, not convincing ball, but neither is that from Rocco for the clearance. Mahrez puts the ball in, and Grealish absolutely blazes it over the crossbar. What a chance for the former Aston Villa man. Mahrez, great ball in, everyone's onside. Christensen, did he just get a touch on it to put off Jack Grealish? I don't think he did. And instead of taking it with his left foot, he tried to get his right foot up early. And over the bar it went for Jack Grealish. Another big chance for City. And it's wasted. Clearance from Meslier towards the halfway line, where a header won by Rodri. As far as Rocker. Plays forward to Rodrigo. Back heel to Aronson. Nonso speeding away here on the left-hand side. In the final third. 1-1 with Stones in the box. On the outside. Pulls it back. Comes off Gundogan. Rico Lewis tries to clear. Deflects back out to the left of Nonso. His Leeds can continue their attack. Can they get a shot on goal? That's the main thing. They haven't done that yet. Rocker. To Nonso. Takes on one. Nearly a third as well. It's cleared by Rico Lewis, out for a throw-in. This is better from Leeds attacking. It's only took them 33 minutes, but I think they firstly just had to try and get their defensive duties done, kind of settle the early pressure that City were going to put on them. And it's Pascal Struijk from the left-hand side with the throw-in. It's deep inside the City half, this throw, so they fancy making something of this. It's a long one into the box, helped on by Rodrigo. It deflects to Nonso, who strikes. It's their first shot, but I think Wilfred Nonso is getting mixed up with the sport he's playing. It looks like he was aiming for a rugby one there. It's like a rugby net was up, not a football net. Over the bar it went, but it's a first shot though for Leeds. It's a positive. It only took them 34 minutes though. And since their first shot, Manchester City have able to have had 8. Only 2 on target though, and they were both saved by Ilan Meslier from Erling Haaland. It's De Bruyne. It's been forced all the way back to Ederson, who was signed for £35 million back in the summer of 2017. From 2019 to 2022, he's won 3 Golden Gloves in the Premier League as well. He's also looking for his 150th win in the Premier League tonight. As De Bruyne's pass has been intercepted, but it deflects out to Rodri, who looks for the ball out towards Grealish on the left. The header's won by Christensen, and he will head out for a Manchester City throw-in deep inside the Leeds half. He's quickly taken the throw-in, Jack Grealish, to Nathan Ake, who's just relaxing himself at left back, not getting too far forward at the moment. Stones. Back to Manuel Akanji. Out it goes to Ake. Rodri on halfway. Forward to Rico Lewis. Again picking up that spot in the midfield. He's been dispossessed, but then he's won it back. Great tackle from Rico Lewis. Now De Bruyne. Tackled by Koch, but it does fall to Rico Lewis. Helps it back out wide to Mahrez. He's got the overlap of De Bruyne. He'll find Gundogan in the box instead. He gets there ahead of Meslier, but again it's a great save from the Frenchman. Strauch with another hurry clearance. De Bruyne flicks it back into the box with his head, but again it's caught by Meslier, who relieves the pressure once again for Leeds. He's had a great first half so far, the Frenchman. Big chance there. Gundogan tried to flick it over the Frenchman, but he was equal to it. And it's thrown for Leeds. Blocked pass by Jack Grealish. The last 0-0 between these two sides was back in 1995, 14 games ago. And the game before that 0-0 was also 0-0 as well. The last time Manchester City won 3 games in a row against Leeds was back from 1980 to 1982. There was 2 1-0 victories and then a 4-0 as well. During that run, it went to 4 in a row with a 2-1 win in the next year in 1983. So it'd be nice to, look at trying to break another record. Manchester City against Leeds. The Candy's been caught late there by Rodrigo for Leeds, but play continues of City building out from the back in their own half. It's Rico Lewis who charges into the Leeds half, looks for a switch, but it deflects off Roca. It falls to Nonso, goes back to Forshaw, turns De Bruyne very nice. He slips though in the end, and it's won back by Manchester City. And here's De Bruyne, and here's where they're dangerous. De Bruyne running at the Leeds defence, plays to Grealish in the box, right-footed shot. It's blocked well by Christensen, but he does fall back to De Bruyne on the left-hand side, about 25 yards away from goal. Goes back to Nathan Ake. Looks to get forward. Plays back out to De Bruyne. He's on the far left. He's going to look to cross it himself here, De Bruyne. It's a poor cross. It's cleared by Strauch, who goes all the way to Manuel Akanji, who's on the halfway line for Manchester City. Stones switch towards the left. What a ball that is to Kevin De Bruyne. But he's tackled by Sam Greenwood before he could enter the box. Good tackle from the former Arsenal Academy prospect. It's out for a City throw-in on halfway. Another big chance there for City as De Bruyne embarked onto the Leeds defence and he laid it off to Grealish, whose shot first time was blocked, and it was unfortunate for the number 10 of Manchester City. Ake across to Akanji. He just about enters the Leeds half. Goes to Lewis. Back to Akanji. Across to Rodri. To Nathan Ake. City are the top goal scorers in the league though this season. Despite not being top of the league, they've scored 40 goals. While Arsenal have scored 36. Mahrez, who's dropped deep for the ball here. Looks to play it forward. Blocks off the face, I think, of Aronson. And it's fell to Sam Greenwood, who now enters the Manchester City half. He's not got many options, but he goes to his left to Roca, and he finds the Spaniard, who then goes once more to Strauch. It's now to Wilfred Nonso, who's 1-on-1 with Rico Lewis. He'll fancy himself here against the youngster. Goes on the outside, he pulls it back. It's not a bad ball, just there's no Leeds shirts there. Picked up by Gundogan on the edge at the box, and City can relax again. And Rodri finds it out wide right to De Bruyne, who crosses that border into the Leeds United half. But he goes back to John Stones. Forward to Rodri. We're nearing half-time, 38 minutes played. Still 0-0. Here's Grealish. Running inside and laying it out to Stones, who's on the right-hand side. Now De Bruyne. Forward to Mahrez. Clattered in from behind by Liam Cooper, and that'll be a free kick for Manchester City. Not happy with the decision of the Leeds United fans. Once again, they're aggressive, Leeds, especially in their pressing and their tackling, and they've gone right through the back of another City player, rightly given free kick in my opinion. It's a dangerous position, this, for Manchester City. It's on the right-hand side. It's prime position for where De Bruyne likes to put his outswinging crosses in, curling away from the keeper. But then it would be a great opportunity for Mahrez to swing one with his left foot. It could even go. It's one of them where it could go all the way through into the back of the net. As De Bruyne's gone low, and he finds Grealish, who shoots again. Goal kick. That was definitely one off the training ground, and Grealish has got to do better. Grealish on the edge of the box, no one marking him, and he played it across to him, De Bruyne. And first time strike from Jack Grealish, way over the bar again. City have had at least 3 or 4 big opportunities now in this first half, and none of them have been taken. And got to give a lot of plaudits to Illan Meslier in the Leeds goal. He's been fantastic tonight so far. The Lorient-born goalkeeper. He looks towards Greenwood, header won by Ake. Now Mahrez, Rodri back to Stones in their own half, and then once more to Ederson as City keep the ball. It would also be a clean sheet of 130 for Ederson if he gets it tonight for Manchester City in all competitions in his career. He's also won 11 trophies at the club as well. The Brazilian, he's now getting on to the age of 29. They do have their backup keeper as well, Stefan Ortega, who's also 29. He's impressed when playing in cup games for Manchester City this season so far. Nonso, the Leeds winger in his own half, goes back to Liam Cooper. Now he's Illan Meslier. 3 minutes until we've hit the 45th minute. 4 minutes, until we hit the 45th minute mark. Stones with a big header. Mahrez caught from behind again by Cooper, but nothing done, says the referee. Click forward to Aronson on halfway, trying to keep the ball away from Rodri, and he's fouled by the Spaniard, and that'll be a free kick for Leeds. Well won by the American. Brendan Aronson, who did work under Jesse Marsch for around 6 months at RB Salzburg, where he joined from this summer. As it's been taken quickly, the free kick towards Christensen, running in behind on the right-hand side. He couldn't quite take it under his... He couldn't quite take it under his spell, and it's a goal kick in the end for Manchester City. City were unbeaten in their first 9 league games of this season, but obviously with Arsenal being so good, that's still not put them in a position where they can be first at Christmas or even at the New Year. Stones, De Bruyne, first time ball inside to Rico Lewis in the Leeds half, plays forward to Mahrez, back out to De Bruyne, looks for Grealish on the left hand side. It's a great ball from Kevin De Bruyne. Grealish cuts in from the left onto his right foot. He gets the ball towards Mahrez, who helps it on, and it's wide. Not far out as well for the Algerian. He should have done better. It would have been a fantastic assist from Jack Grealish, and he would have helped Riyad Mahrez score only his 2nd goal in the Premier League this season. He may run across completely unmarked, no one near the Algerian. And did he even get any contact on the pass? It's a great ball from Grealish. Really smart from the Englishman. I think he got slight contact, but it wasn't good enough from the Algerian. Really not good enough at all. Should have done better. Another big chance. 2 minutes till half-time. Still Leeds 0. Manchester City 0. The goal kick headed on by Strauch. Going as far as Stones. Back to Strauch again. Who lets it roll for a Leeds throw-in. Just inside the Manchester City half. Just taking his time, slowing the game down, and throws it back to Liam Cooper. There's had a lot of injuries recently, and in his career, the only injuries on record that he's ever had is while he's been at Leeds. And he joined back in 2014 from Chesterfield when they were once in League One. He's now at the age of 31. The Scotsman. Rodri has it. To Stones at right back. That's the kind of position he's taking up at the minute as Rico Lewis comes inside. He's been forced into a dead end there, John Stones. But he does win a throw-in deep inside the Leeds half. As Mahrez throws it back to Rico Lewis. It's now to Rodri, who's just about 15 yards into the Leeds half. So he's got pretty much all white shirt players in front of him. Rodri, De Bruyne, first time ball into Rico Lewis. He charges forward towards the edge of the box. He plays it out. He gets the return. Cross cleared by Robin Koch. Then he comes out to Wilfred Gnonto for Leeds. Plays a nice ball forward here. And it's helped on, but it's nowhere near the run of Rodrigo there by Mark Rocker. That's been given away from Leeds again. It's Akanji. Out to De Bruyne. Oh, around the corner to Rico Lewis. He's in the box. Will he fancy a shot maybe? He goes for a cross to Jack Grealish and he's skied it again. His Manchester City career has just not gone the way that he would have liked to. What an unbelievable flick from De Bruyne to kickstart the attack. He got it to Rico Lewis, who could have had a shot of his own. Decided to pull it into the box, straight into the foot of Jack Grealish. And he pretty much had an open goal, but he somehow put it over the crossbar. For £100 million, you've got to be scoring those chances. As we've hit the 45th minute, I wonder how much we'll have added on time, but this half has not been, what City would have wanted. They've had so many chances, but none taken. 14 attempts they've had this first half compared to Leeds United 1. Only 3 on target. Christensen for Leeds gets forward. Greenwood tries to help it on towards the edge of the box, but Ake hooks away. Great touch from Ilkay Gundogan, and he sets away De Bruyne on the left. That touch from Gundogan was immense. It's De Bruyne on the left-hand side. Pulls it across to Rodri on the edge. Once more to Mahrez. Left foot save, Rodri, and it's in! Right before the half-time whistle was about to be blown, the holding midfielder of Rodri bursts forward, gets himself into a striking position, and despite all the good work of French goalkeeper Ilham Meslier, it's all gone undone right on half-time. Good counter from City. Great touch from Gundogan to get away from Rocker. He sent away De Bruyne on the left-hand side. Wasn't being pressed, so had a load of time to find his pass. Got it across to Rodri, who then got it to Mahrez, who shot, and it was saved and parried by Meslier straight to Rodri, who carried on his run into the box. And from there, it was a simple finish beyond the goalkeeper, under his arm. And Rodri last season had a fantastic scoring season in the Premier League. He got 7. This one is just his first of the season, not just in the Premier League, but in all competitions. And literally, as there was only 1 minute added on, they scored it right when they needed to. And at half-time, it will more likely, and it will be as the whistle goes, half-time at Ellen Road, it's Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. Rodri, the difference maker, right on half-time. Literally, there was about 10 seconds to go until the whistle was set to be blown. But that's enough time for Manchester City to put a devastating blow into the Leeds United effort to try and get something from this game. It's been a half of a one-sided affair that somehow has only 1-0. Ilham Melia's had one hell of a first half for Leeds United. It's been chance after chance after chance for Manchester City. And the first one came in the first minute, nearly inside 60 seconds. Haaland got in behind, latched onto an Ake pass. Great save from Ilham Meslier. And then after that, they kept pushing, they kept all the ball. They really did keep the ball very well. And then Jack Grealish has had a couple of chances during the first half as well. One right before half-time there where he skied it over the bar, but thankfully he was spared of his blushes by Rodri, who was able to get City ahead in the game. And for all the pressure, they scored right on half-time. Rodri with the goal. And to combat The 16 shots of Manchester City, Leeds were only able to conjure one. And it's not enough. They need to do better in the second half attackingly. They didn't do too bad defensively. They were massively helped by Illan Meslier in the goal. But at half-time, they weren't able to stop Rodri from scoring. It's Leeds United 0, Manchester City 1 at half-time. Great efforts from Leeds United to, try and keep it at 0-0 till at least half-time. But they were undone by a counter-attack from one of their own attacks. And they were unlucky. Mahrez's shot in the box was greatly saved from Illan Meslier, but he needs help. He can't do it all on his own. And unfortunately, for Leeds United, they weren't able to stop Rodri, who had carried on his run into the box and was able to slot home the follow-up and the rebound. Like I say, it's only his first goal of the season as well, Rodri. In all competitions, never mind just the Premier League, where last season he did get 7 Premier League goals. So it's only his first though of the season when we're right into the end of December now. But what a half. That was just City madness. All the possession, all the chances, but only 1 goal. But maybe that's all they'll need for this game, because they have only defended 1 shot of Leeds so far, and they've had 74% possession, which is absolutely crazy. But at half-time, it is 1-0 Manchester City. I will be back in literally a minute. I'm just going to have to go and blow my nose because, Christmas illness has hit me. But I'll be literally back in a minute's time. So don't go anywhere. Stay where you are. Hello. Welcome back. 1-0 at half-time between Leeds and Manchester City. Came right on the stroke of half-time. De Bruyne broke forward, played it across to Rodri, who then played it on once more to Mahrez in the box. Left foot strike, saved by Meslier. Straight back to the feet of Rodri, who was able just about to slot it past the French goalkeeper, who got a touch to it. Couldn't keep it out. And it does look like City will be regaining second place in the Premier League, and they'll be looking to hunt down Arsenal, who currently sits top of the tree of the Premier League. But Haaland has had chances of his own. Literally, the first minute, under 1 minute, I think it was about 40 seconds in. Haaland running behind, Ake found him, and you'd expect Haaland to score really, but you've got to give credit to Illan Meslier. It is a cracking save. It really is, and he had another one as well midway inside the first half. Where Gundogan picked it up, played it forward to De Bruyne, who slotted through Haaland, and he was able to get a left-footed strike away, but it did hit the left knee of Illan Meslier, and again, Haaland denied. Wonder if he'll be able to deny him even more so in the second half, because he'll be desperate to score. Erling Haaland, especially at the place of his birth, where he was born, Leeds United. Well, born in Leeds. Leeds United obviously isn't a place. second half will be getting back underway in around 8 minutes' time. But City are currently going back to second place in the table. They will have Newcastle behind them, 2 points behind them. Fourth place Spurs will be 5 points behind. United in fifth will be 6 points behind, and Liverpool in sixth will be 10 points behind Manchester City if they continue this first half performance and win the game, because it was all Manchester City that first half. Leeds, like I said, did well to avoid a goal being scored before it was in the 46th minute of the first half. But now, they'll need a goal from somewhere. But that chance Grealish had, that flick from De Bruyne around the corner to find Rico Lewis is so incredibly just good to watch. And then the fact that Grealish could have finished it off with a finish that he skied over the bar, it sums up his City career so far. He does need a run of games where he scores goals. Maybe goes 3 games with scoring in. I'm not sure, but yeah. And also, when Grealish was taken out in the first half, I think it was around 15th minute, it wasn't given as a free kick. And I'm glad to see that people do think it was a free kick. He was absolutely cut right through by by Pascal Struijk. I couldn't believe it wasn't given as a free kick. But City do have some big games coming up. They have Everton next, just before the new year, on the 31st, Everton at home. But then they have back-to-back fixtures against Chelsea, one in the Premier League on the 5th of January away, and then they play them at home once again like they did in the League Cup, but this time it's in the FA Cup in the third round. That is on the 8th of January. So a lot of games coming up in quite quick succession as well for Manchester City. But they're used to it. Every single season they've got so many games played. It's standard for them to for their players to be hitting 50 appearances a season. These days, last season the likes of Rodri hit 46. Edson played 49 last season. For the person with the most appearances last season in all competitions, as I look at my stats, it probably is looking like Edison with 49. João Cancelo played 52 games, no competitions. Last season, Foden, he played a staggering 45. Bernardo Silva played 50 as well, scoring 8 Premier League goals. The Portuguese international, so it's always loads of games being played for Manchester City. But like I say, they're used to it. That's why they're so good. That's why they've won so many trophies, 11 under Pep Guardiola, including 4 Premier Leagues. With that, he has got 3 La Ligas when he was at Barcelona. Second half, we'll be getting back underway in a couple minutes' time. I think Leeds would have been able to get in at half time, drawing 0-0 and not trailing by 1-0. I think that would give them so much confidence to maybe push in push on in the second half and maybe try and nick a good result. Maybe it is just a 0-0 draw, but unfortunately they weren't able to hold on right on half time. They conceded. It's so frustrating for them. But that's the Premier League, and that's Manchester City. They know they are heartless. They don't care when they score as long as they get their result that they need. You know, that's just the way it goes for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. But for Rodri, again, the first goal of the season for himself. It's always a nice personal accolade to get, especially when you play holding midfielder. It's not really something you look for. You don't look to score loads of goals a season, but if they come, you take them. You get the goal bonus you probably got in your contract. And it has just been announced as well 4 minutes ago, officially on the Liverpool FC Twitter. Cody Gakpo is a Liverpool player. That is crazy. He was so set to sign for Manchester United. In the summer, he was even linked to Leeds United. But come January, they've signed him from PSV. He was captain on numerous occasions as well this season for PSV. He's a leader. He's a fantastic footballer. Had a great World Cup, scoring in every group game, and he's going to be a cracking signing for Liverpool. He really is. Another unbelievable deal done by Jurgen Klopp to secure him, especially in January as well, where they desperately need reinforcements to come in. They currently sit sixth at the minute, and they're 5 points away from top four. So to add that to the quality, they've already got fit. Alongside the quality they have that's on the sidelines, like Luis Diaz. You got to feel like Liverpool will be making that real push to top four and maybe beyond top four now till the end of the season. Obviously picked up a great win away at Aston Villa on Boxing Day, where they won 3-1. But during the game, I mentioned Kyle Walker because he was being shown on the cameras, and during the time he was being shown on the cameras, there was a camera attached to the bench that he was obviously sat on because he's a substitute tonight, and he rips it off. I'm not quite sure what his intention was with that camera. I don't know if he wanted to just get it out of his face or just wanted to see what it was doing, if he could redirect the position of it. I don't know, but he rips it off, and someone there at half time is having to reattach the camera and the stand back together, which I find very funny. The City players are coming out of their changing rooms, and they're about to re-enter the Ellen Road field to try and defend and add, possibly, to their 1-0 lead that they gained right on the stroke of half-time. There is Pep Guardiola. They're nearly at 1,000 goals under Guardiola at his time at Manchester City, joined in July of 2016. They're currently on 948 goals, so you'd imagine by maybe the end of the season they'll be able to hit 1,000 goals under his reign. That'd be an unbelievable statistic. Here come the officials as well. There he is, Rodri, getting his team ready for the second half. He's on his bid already, getting his first goal of the season. He's 13th in the Premier League in 116 appearances he's made. We are about to get underway. They're all set. Leeds kicking from right to left. Manchester City left to right. Leeds United to kick off. Rodrigo plays it back to Roca. Out to Strauch on the left. Finds Nonso. Goes back, looking for Strauch, but he's having to chase that one down. A misplaced ball. Goes to Ilan Mele, who clears with the left boot. Again, not convincing. It's helped forward by Rodri, only as far as Strauch in the Leeds half. Gets out wide to Wilfred Nonso. Back inside to Strauch. Tackled by Rodri, but Nonso was fouled off the ball once he released it. And it's a free kick for Leeds, 30 seconds into the second half. This has gone back to Meslier, just on the edge of his own box. Gets it out to Strauch. Forward to Aronson. Nonso. Aronson, great 1-2 in their own half here to get away from Rodri. And Aronson needs to play it forward, and he does do so to Greenwood. Very nice ball. Out wide left it goes to Rodrigo. Towards the corner flag on the left-hand side. Looking forward now. Plays it into Forshaw on the edge. Tries to find Aronson. It's a good little nick off Mahrez there, and Rodri can hoof a big clearance up. Looking for Haaland, who will chase, but it's Meslier to clear. And it's only fell as far as Rodri, who gets out to De Bruyne on the right, who just about keeps it in. But just has to kick it down and out for a goal kick for Leeds. He did well to keep it in, to be fair there. Kevin De Bruyne. Kyle Walker once again messing around with the camera on his bench. Cooper from the goal kick. Clips out towards Nonso, the left winger. Has to go over his head. It's too high for him. City throwing inside the Leeds half. It's Rico Lewis. Not got many options to throw it to, which is quite surprising. Not much movement for Manchester City. He just threw it back and into the City half for John Stones, who has scored against Leeds in the 7-0, and he's also played against them twice for Barnsley back in the 2012-2013 season. So 10 years now. He's been playing Leeds as Grealish has been caught late. Lower part of his leg. Got a ball from Ake. Tried to latch onto it, and he was caught late by Rasmus Christensen. He's having a talking to there by the referee, the Danish international, who also played at the World Cup. Christensen made 3 starts at the World Cup, and he did work under Jesse Marsch at RB Salzburg as well. This is his 77th appearance made for Jesse Marsch. Taken short, it's now Ake. Down the line it goes to Grealish in the final third. He's going to be met by Christensen again. Looks to cut inside onto his right foot. Plays it across to Rico Lewis. 25 yards away from goal. He then spreads it out wide right to Riyad Mahrez. Back to Rico Lewis. Mahrez again. Rodri. Back to Stones. They look to keep the pressure on though, Manchester City. Akanji. To the left to Ake. Just inside the Leeds half. Forward to Grealish. 1-2 completed. Ake bursts forward. Pass one. Tries to get past the second, but Gundogan takes over, gets ahead of Koch, gets it back into Ake's in the box, scoops a ball in, and it's caught by Meslier. Not bad attacking work, though, by Nathan Ake. Did conjure up a chance for City, but couldn't quite find the main man, Erling Haaland, in the box. Meslier, left-footed. Up the field into the City half. It's gone over Rodrigo. It's headed across by Stones to Rodri, who then finds Nathan Ake, the left back for tonight's game for Manchester City. It's De Bruyne, deep for the ball. Gets it back out to Ake. We've just hit the 49th minute. Leeds United 0, Manchester City 1. It's now Ederson, the Brazilian. Just deep inside their own half. Manchester City working out from the back. Again, no real press from Leeds United as of yet. As it goes out to Stones on the right. Back to Akanji, forward to Rico Lewis. Away from Forshaw, and he finds Gundogan, who could send away Mahrez. On the right-hand side, he's one-on-one William Cooper. Tries to cut in to his left foot, but that's an unbelievable tackle from the captain. Stopping Mahrez entering the box. And Nonso can get away here for Leeds, but he's been clipped from behind. That's a free kick for Leeds United. Mahrez protesting his innocence. Referee not having it. But that was a great tackle to stop Mahrez there from Liam Cooper. We know how dangerous Mahrez is, cutting it onto his left foot. Long lifted ball up the field for Leeds. A header one for Manchester City. Cleared by Rodri. Well, this was Strauch on halfway. He goes back to Cooper. Across to Koch, who's not seen Jack Grealish. Heavy touch in front of him. He's away. He's got Haaland to his left. He plays it across. Erling Haaland. He would never miss. Despite a disappointing first half for Jack Grealish, he's made up for it with an unbelievable assist. Catching out the Leeds defence. They were sleeping. And you can't do that around players like Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland because they will take advantage. Haaland picking up where he left off. He just couldn't miss. He got an open goal from around 12 yards out. And it is goal number 19 in the Premier League for Erling Haaland. It's only his 14th appearance in the league this season. Unbelievable stats. Right place, right time for Manchester City. And just over 5 minutes into the second half, they double their lead. A massive reason for that is because of Jack Grealish, but it was finished by Erling Haaland. And Haaland, in the holiday season, gets his second goal since the return of Manchester City's club football. He scored against Liverpool in the League Cup last week. He's now got his first of this game against Leeds. And this game could quickly run away from Leeds United. And after that goal, and we're now 7 minutes into the second half, it's Leeds United 0, Manchester City 2. And of course it's Erling Haaland, but we cannot forget that fantastic assist from Jack Grealish. Cooper played it across to Robin Koch on halfway. He completely thought he had more time than he did, completely caught off guard. Grealish got there ahead of him, took that heavy touch to really send him away. He couldn't be caught. Played it across to Haaland. And then for Haaland, it's a moment of thank you very much. I will take that all day long. He couldn't miss. He didn't miss. It's 2-0 Manchester City. We're back underway. And we're already back in a Manchester City possession with Akanji. They've defended okay, Leeds. Not good enough, really. And they've just not at all been good enough attacking. Not in one sense of the word. They've had one shot still. City have had 18. It's been a dominant performance from the current holders of the Premier League. And Guardiola's record in the Premier League is something else. He averages 2.35 points per match. It's absolutely crazy. What a manager he is. Only took him a season to adapt to the league, and then he's never looked back since. Strauch wins it well off Rico Lewis. Rodrigo out to Nonto on the left-hand side. Can't get away from the tackle of Kevin De Bruyne. Throwing for Leeds inside the City half. Haaland now on 25 for the season in all competitions. 19 in the Premier League, as I said. And now, and it's going to stay this way, in the 14 games he's now played in the Premier League, he's only failed to score in 3. And they were against Bournemouth, Liverpool and Brentford. Seems like he always scores. Erling Haaland, here's Nonto on the edge of the box, enters the box, right-footed shot, blocks by Stones, goes all the way across to Christensen on the right-hand side, on the edge of the box, gets onto his left foot and then decides to strike himself. Gundogan blocks again. It falls to Gundogan, to Haaland, who then lays it back into Gundogan, tries to set away De Bruyne in behind with a left-footed ball, but it's headed back to his goalkeeper by Cooper. And Haaland's gone down here. He's back up on his feet, though. He was knocked off the ball there when he was playing it back to Gundogan. And he's moving a little bit gingerly at the minute, which isn't good for Manchester City, as Rodrigo now works it out to Wilfred Nonto on the left-hand side in the final third for Leeds against Manchester City. Aronson, what a nutmeg on Rodri, but that's an awful strike. He got the ball from the left winger. He had Rodri to beat. He poked it through his legs. And on the edge of the box, had the strike, but got right underneath it. And 10 minutes into the second half, we've already had one goal, but it was for Manchester City, and that means it's Leeds 0, Manchester City 2. Hopefully Haaland is moving a little bit better than he just once was a minute ago, after being caught late. Okay, forward to Grealish, just inside the City half. Again, he's been clattered to the ground by Mark Rocker. It's happened to him all game. Obviously, he had quite a few chances missed in the first half, quite big chances missed, Grealish, but he's really made up for it with that assist. It was so good, initiative to sniff out the mistake that was made in the end by the Leeds centre-backs. Stones inside to De Bruyne on the halfway, out to Mahrez, great ball, tries to take on Strauch, can't quite do so Mahrez, but he does win it back for the moment, but then loses out to Rocker. De Bruyne tries to win it back for City, can't quite do so. Leeds in their own half need to try and get this away from the City press. They clip it off Mahrez, and that'll be a throw-in for Leeds United to take. They lose out from the throw-in. It's now gone City's way, and they've thrown it back to Stones. This is unbelievable from Manchester City to come away to Leeds. It's not an easy game. They had 3 friendlies as well, Leeds, in the build-up to the return of the Premier League, where they won 2 against Elche and Real Sociedad, where they also played Monaco as well. They haven't back though, Leeds, and they're now in the City half. It's Forshaw, quite deep inside the City half as well, on the far right-hand side. Has to go back though in the end to Christensen. And once more to Robin Koch, who made the mistake for the goal, pondered on the ball too much. Rocker, forward to Forshaw. Forward in the space for Christensen, who gets the ball in first time. Come off the heel of Akanji, cleared by Rodri up towards Mahrez, who just about keeps it ahead of Strauch. Plays to Ake in the left-back area, forward to Grealish. First time clearance up towards Gundogan, who heads on towards Erling Haaland on halfway. But he keeps it himself, tries to poke it forward. De Bruyne's offside. As the ball was played there to Gundogan, tried to find Haaland, but took it on himself, fell to Grealish, and then De Bruyne just wandered offside as he tried to make his forward dashing run for Manchester City. Nonso. Forshaw just about releases it backwards to Liam Cooper because Haaland was stiffing to intercept the pass. Harrison driving from the left-hand side inside the field, and that's a cynical foul from Rodri. Free kick for Leeds. Don't think there's been a card brandished yet for Rodri, and that will stay the same. We've not had a card yet in this game. Stuart Atwell keeping his cards in his pocket for now. It's going to be a ball put into the box by Mark Rocker. In it goes. Header won by Cooper. Straight into the hands, though, of Edison. Wasn't a good enough header. Needs to be better, but it wasn't from Liam Cooper. Here is Akanji for Manchester City. Edison out to Ake, who got 2 goals against Leeds last season, 1 in each fixture, home and away. Edison's scuff clearance gone out for a Leeds throw-in inside the City half, where they look to try and at least get one back themselves, give them some kind of chance, because at the minute, the game is just being lost on them, Leeds United, but they're still in full voice. Ball out to Nonso on the left-hand side. Pressure by Lewis. And the right back wins it back for City as it deflects off Strauch for Rodri. Ake, ball forward to De Bruyne in between the lines as well. This is where he's dangerous. He plays it through to Haaland. First time ball to Ilkay Gundogan. It's an important challenge from Christensen. And I think he concedes the corner, but it's much better than conceding the goal. Great play there from Ake to find De Bruyne. He played it through to Haaland. He then found Gundogan first time. His first touch almost let him down there, Gundogan, and it allowed Christensen to clear away from his feet to concede the Manchester City corner. He celebrated the tackle, almost like he'd scored there, Christensen. He knew how key that was, because if it goes to 3-0, we pretty much know that's probably game over Mahrez will take it. He'll be a left-footed in-swinger. And it goes towards the near post. Helped on by Akanji towards Haaland. Header won by Christensen. Only finds Grealish on the edge of the box. Clips it back out towards the right-hand side. Can't quite find Mahrez. Header won by Nonso. Finds Aronson, who's dispossessed by Gundogan fairly, says the referee. It's by Aronson staying down. But the referee changed his mind after a couple seconds and instead gives the free kick. And Aronson is holding his knee, just below his knee. But hopefully he'll be okay to continue. Cooper will take as everyone just resets back into their positions. As we have played an hour now at Ellen Road. It's 2-0 Manchester City. Strauch, a long lifted ball over the top. It does find the shoulder of Rodrigo, who loses that in the end to Stones. And Akanji sweeps it out to the left back, Ake, who goes back into the 18-yard box to play it to Manuel. Akanji. Rodri, as City just keep possession in their own half. Forward by Akanji to Rico Lewis, who again takes up that midfield spot in the centre of the pitch for City to give them an extra body in that midfield, which, you know, is so key for them to be able to have the numbers in midfield to play the way they want to. Rodri to Lewis. All in the City half, this. Akanji, misplaced ball, Forshaw sets it forward to Nonso, who's been caught there by Lewis, and that'll be a free kick and a booking for Rico Lewis. I think that's unfortunate for Lewis. It really is. That's not a fact that he's young and experienced and he's given away a silly foul there. He was caught out there, Rico Lewis, because he was pushed to the floor as he released a pass by Rodrigo. And as he was pushed to the floor, that's when City lost possession. So he was out of position because of that push to the floor he got from Rodrigo, which probably would have been given a free kick if City didn't have the ball still. And he's had to try and recover, and he's had to push Nonto over in the end and concede the free kick and the yellow card. Rico Lewis. First booking of the game. It's a chance here for Leeds to try and get a goal. It's around 25 yards out, maybe a bit more. So it's a challenging distance, but the fancy it here, Leeds United, who have got Sam Greenwood standing over it and Mark Roca as well. Spaniard and the Englishman standing over it here. It's quite the distance, so if there's a shot, it's going to have to be a good one here. Referee blows his whistle. Looks like it's going to be Sam Greenwood with the shot straight into the Manchester City wall. And he'll deflect to the left-back area where Ake, in his right position, will clear the ball forward. Deflects though, and Robin Koch takes over. Battles with Rodri and loses out to Rodri. Gundogan forward to De Bruyne, and he enters the Leeds half, and he gets the ball out to the right-hand side here. Mara slows it down, just gets it back into De Bruyne. Rodri, De Bruyne again, he's charging at the goal. He plays it across to Haaland, edge of the box, lays it off his head to Grealish, back to Haaland, right-footed strike, and it's into the bottom right corner, and Haaland bags a brace again. It's his third brace of the season, and he could even be on for more. Grealish with 2 assists, both for the Norwegian. And sometimes some teams are just too good. De Bruyne into Haaland, thought about pulling the trigger, instead got it to Grealish. He then got the return back to Erling Haaland. He can score with his left, and he can almost certainly score with his right. Hand on to it by Meslier, wasn't enough to push it out wide. And Ellen Road, we've got it as Leeds United 0, Manchester City 3. Haaland at the double. And it looks like now the game is all set and done. Leeds United 0, Manchester City 3. Haaland at it once again. Change as well for Leeds as they make a change at right back. Rasmus Christensen off for Luke Ayling, number 2. Not quite as favourable under Jesse Marsh. Luke Ayling, it's only his 8th appearance in the Premier League. And Haaland scores again. And Grealish with another assist as well. Here is Ayling, getting it out to Matthias Klick, 2 changes, that's a substitute as well. Ayling bundled to the ground by Rodri on the far right hand side. Be a free kick for Leeds. Who has Matthias Klick come on for? Adam Forshaw. So Christensen and Forshaw off for Luke Ayling and Matthias Klick for Leeds United. Matthias Klick is heavily linked to joining DC United in January as well, who's managed by Wayne Rooney. But at the minute he's a Leeds United player. And they've got a free kick on the right hand side towards the corner flag. Again, Rocker and Greenwood are stood over the ball. It will be the left foot of Rocker this time. It's an in-swinger. It's a deep one, and it's been left by Edison, and rightly so. Because it's gone way wide and no one was on it. Or are they getting a retake? Could possibly be a retake here as Cooper just caught Gundogan in the face there. Trying to lose his marker. I think it's going to be retaken, though. The referee demands. It looks like João Cancelo will enter the field for Manchester City as well at the next point of a stop. Yeah, it's going to be retaken. Obviously, City would have liked that to have been the free kick because it went way wide, but the referee wants it taken again. Obviously, he must have blown the whistle before it's been taken. Again, left by Greenwood. It's Rocco who gets a second bite of the cherry, and it's pretty much a copy, but this time Edison felt like he had to touch it behind. Corner for Leeds. Could have easily been another goal kick, but Edison just felt the need to parry it over. Maybe a lack of communication, maybe couldn't hear any communication he was getting from his defenders to leave it. Better to be safe, though, as many people say. And it'll be an in-swinger from Sam Greenwood. Towards the near post, helped on by De Bruyne, still in the box, so it's still dangerous. It'll fall, should be for another corner. No, it's a goal kick. Come off. A Leeds United player first, clearly. Sorry. Yeah, should have been a goal. Should have been a corner. Came off a Kanji last. Even I could see that, and I'm not there. Poor officiating there. And it's going to be Rico Lewis, who makes his full Premier League debut. It's his first start in the Premier League. Absolutely fantastic player. He's played so well at such a hostile ground as well. And he'll be replaced by João Cancelo, who will play at a more natural right back because he's right-footed. Well, Rico Lewis, 18. It's his 4th appearance in the Premier League. He made substitute appearances at home against Bournemouth, Forest and Southampton. But tonight was his first full start in the league, and City have got themselves one heck of a footballer to replace Kyle Walker. That's for sure. And after 68 minutes, he's been replaced by João Cancelo, who enters the fray for Manchester City. Had a disappointing World Cup, to say the least. He did not start the round of 16 or the quarter-final at the World Cup. He was chosen to come off the bench because Dalot was preferred. Here's Stones playing out from the back for City. Lays it off to Akanji, who hesitates clearing it first time. He's been backed into the corner flag by Aronson, and his clearance is poor. Falls to Nonso. Inside it goes towards Greenwood. Good little touch there from Cancelo, but still not cleared from City. Out to Nonso, the winger. Inside again, looking for Aronson, but now Cancelo's there again. Mahrez towards the corner flag, goes back to Cancelo, loses out to Greenwood. And across it goes to Klick. Rocker. Nicely done to get away from Mahrez and De Bruyne. He gets the return from Nonso and he clips the ball in himself, and it'll be an easy collection for Edison, who quickly throws it out to the left-hand side to Grealish. There's loads of room down the left-hand side for Grealish. He gets on his bike. He gallops away. Jack Grealish gets it back onto his right foot. Dirty, dirty challenge again from Matthias Klick. And that's a yellow card for the Polish internationals. Just come on. He had to stop the attack somehow because Grealish was in full flow. And the only way to stop the attack was to take him out. And that's happened so many times tonight to Grealish. It just shows how scared players are of him. that they feel like they have to take him out every single time. It's more of a compliment than anything. And Wilfred Nonso has also been booked. He was having a bit of afters there with Jack Grealish, and as the referee wanted a word with him, he shoved the referee's arm away. Yellow card for Nonso. I thought he might have got booked for that. Stuart Atwell rightly booking the Italian, maybe showing his lack of experience there, biting a little bit because he's losing. Yellow card for Nonso, and it's a free kick for Manchester City on their left-hand side. It's going to be a ball in from the right foot of Kevin De Bruyne. Takes it quickly in behind, looking for Haaland, and Meslier comes out quickly. Good collection from the Frenchman. Haaland looking for his hat-trick. He's got a few of them, hasn't he, this season, Erling Haaland? Could only be his third hat-trick. First one away from home, though. Changes. They've already made 2 leads. They're going to make 2 more. Joe Gelhardt is coming on. The youngster, 20 years of age, joined from Wigan for £1 million in 2020. He replaces Rodrigo. And Liam Cooper, the captain, the centre-half, will be replaced by Diego Llorente, the Spaniard. Signed a new contract, Diego Llorente, till 2026 on the 23rd of December. He's only making his 8th appearance of the Premier League season. This is only his 2nd appearance in his last 9 Premier League games. The other times he's just been on the bench and he's not come on. And Jack Grealish is being replaced by Phil Foden. He didn't have the greatest first halves. He was positive and he played well, but just his final product wasn't quite good enough. Missed a lot of chances, missed an open goal, missed a couple shots he should have scored. But in the second half, he transformed into a new player and he's bagged 2 assists for his tally this season. 2 assists, both for the goals for Erling Haaland, and he can go off feeling he's definitely added to Manchester City's result today. And Foden replaces him, a World Cup star. Greenwood crosses it in from the corner that Leeds did get, and it's a header in! Is there a possible comeback on? Pascal Struijk with the header. 3-1. It's not all over. He scores his 2nd goal of the season, Pascal Struijk. His other one came against Palace in an away defeat. Could he be scoring in a home defeat? We'll wait and see. He's unmarked. I think his man's Akanji, and Akanji lost him completely. And he was able to direct his header again. Meslier a few times for City's goals have got hands to their shots. Same here with Edison. He got a big hand to the header. Wasn't able to keep it out. And in the 73rd minute, Leeds United have got one back through Pascal Struijk. Leeds United 1. Manchester City 3. Could he get a little bit nervy at the end here for Pep Guardiola's men? We'll have to wait and see. From the corner that Sam Greenwood whipped him with his right foot. It was perfectly met by Pascal Struijk, who on his 80th appearance for the club scores his 4th goal. And that will definitely get the fans up for it a bit more. I think it's just a bit disappointing, though, for Leeds, the fact that they've scored this goal when it was 3-0, not 2-0. Because, if you make it 2-1, you can really push for the last 15 minutes. Okay, throwing down the line to Haaland. Loses that to Rocker. Aronson. Can't quite get beyond Nathan Ake. Throwing for Manchester City in their own half. There's a great ball in from Greenwood. And the header was met very nicely by the Dutch international, Pascal Struijk. Here's City looking to add to their tally. Mahrez, De Bruyne, edge of the box, shoots. It's a comfortable save, though, in the end for Illan Meslier. who has had a really good game. I know he's conceded 3 goals, but especially the first half, he stopped it from being 2, 3, 4-0 instead of just being the 1. Nonto, ball inside to Aronson, just inside the Leeds half. He's been pressed by John Stones. That will be a free kick for Leeds United to take. Stones giving it away. Who did start all 5 of England's games in the World Cup. Click. Forward to Gelhardt. Loses out to Akanji. Good strong defending from the Swiss international, who did lose his man at that corner, Pascal Struijk, to allow Leeds a consolation goal and no clean sheet for Edison. Long ball forward up towards Haaland. Does win the header to De Bruyne. What a flick on that is. Now releases Mahrez on the right-hand side. 1-on-1 with the goal scorer Struijk. Goes inside to João Cancelo. Works it out to Ake. The left-back's ventured forward here. He finds Foden, whose heavy touch is dispossessed there by Gelhardt. That's a throw-in for Leeds. It came off Foden last. Good work there from the young striker. Gelhardt. Wailing across to Diego Llorente, the Spaniard. The contract he signed, we'll see him now for the next 4 years until he's 33 years old. Did he give it away? Struijk, misplaced ball. Cancelo quickly takes the throw-in back to John Stones. Does look like this will be Manchester City's 11th win of the season. They've now scored 43 goals, conceding only 15. Foden, Gundogan, first time ball to Rodri. Looks in behind for Haaland. It could be a hat-trick for Haaland. He's in the box, right foot, saved again from Meslier. Haaland genuinely could have had about 5 goals tonight, but Illan Meslier has stopped him on multiple occasions. And again, that time you'd fancy Haaland scoring with a ball through him behind like that, but Meslier again made himself big, came out and stopped the ball from going into his net. It stays at 3-1. 77 minutes played at Ellen Road. And for Leeds, they have got some big games coming up. In their last Premier League game, they played Tottenham. A couple of games before that, they played Liverpool. Their next game is Newcastle away. But they've got a winnable game at home against West Ham, who are struggling. They're just a point. They're just a place behind them. West Ham in 16th, and they're a point behind them as well. Here's Aronson on the left-hand side. Dangerous position. He plays to Greenwood, who gets it across. It's met by Gelhardt, and it's just wide of the post. I'm telling you, that's not far away. That's really, really close. Aronson found the runner of Greenwood. He's already got 1 assist today. And Gelhardt just got ahead of Akanji. Poked his right boot at it. Oh, it's inches wide. It's devastating for the youngster Gelhardt, because if Leeds score now, they've got 10 minutes to really go at it. Poor clinch from Edison, but a poor touch from Greenwood gives it to Gundogan, who relieves pressure because he's fouled. And it's a free kick for Manchester City. Haaland's chance there is with the right foot. He's just hit it straight at Meslier. Probably should have put a bit of lift on it, maybe, because Meslier, a lot of the game tonight has come out, just closed the angle down. So maybe he could have, tried to dink it over him. It's an hard one, though, because it is on his right foot, Haaland, so it might not be natural to, dink with his right foot. I'm not too sure. Okay. Tries to find a ball in behind for Foden on the left. It's cut out by Robin Koch. It's now Ayling to Matthias Klick. Lift the ball to Aronson, who takes it down. And he gets it to Luke Ayling on the right-hand side, who wins the throw-in for his team. Luke Ayling coming on as a substitute. Was at Arsenal from 2001 to 2010. He's got a contract till the end of this season, Luke Ayling, and I don't think he's too favoured by Jesse Marsch. He's 31 years of age as well. He might be having to find a new club soon, Luke Ayling. Ball inside. Aronson tries the backheel flick towards Click in the box. It's blocked. And City try and clear over Kanji. It's a little bit hurried. It's a little bit messy. But Rodgers able to get his foot on the ball and try and find Mahrez. Cut out by Strauch. Here's Wilfred Nonso. Edge of the box. He's been brought down again by Rodri. That'll be a yellow card. That's definitely a number of a number of fouls that he's accumulated to receive the yellow card. And this is a dangerous area for City. They've got to be careful now. 3-1. If Leeds score this, it's 3-2. Their fans are behind them. They're confident. And this free kick around 22 yards out could be a big chance. It's Manchester City's second booking. Rico Lewis picked up a booking after fouling Nonso as well. So he seems to be picking up bookings for a lot of players here. Wilfred Nonso. Greenwood, we know he's good at set pieces because he put that cross in. Pascal Strauch's header, but the free kick he did take after that Rico Lewis booking was straight into the wall. But this is a lot more. This is a great position. I always say if you want to place a ball down to take a free kick, you know, some people would place it here. Great distance. Mark Rocker, he stood over it as well, but I think it'll be Greenwood to take. This will really, really challenge Manchester City if this goes in. Number 42, Greenwood. Oh, it's over the wall, but this time it's over the bar. He's disappointed with himself there, Sam Greenwood. He beat the wall this time, but he was just never quite coming back down to go on target, unfortunately, for Sam Greenwood. Pep Guardiola really was not happy and ended up booting a water bottle into the Leeds dugout, and I think it hit one of their staff. Pep Guardiola clearly not happy with his side there, losing possession in the way they did to give Leeds those opportunities. There's going to be another change here. Brendan Aronson is coming off, the American, who just does not stop running all game. I don't think he's happy he's been brought off, though. And he's going to be replaced. And this is an interesting substitution here. Former Manchester City man, number 18, Darko Giabi, comes on for what is his Premier League debut. He's been on the bench 4 times for Leeds this season and is yet to come off the bench. This is his first time playing, and he was signed in the summer from Manchester City for £5 million. So for his first ever Premier League appearance, it is against his former club for Darko Giabi. He did play in the EFL Cup in the third round against Wolves, the full 90 minutes. So this isn't his first team appearance. It's his second one, but this is his first Premier League appearance for the youngster. A midfielder he is, central midfielder. And he did score 3 goals in 2 appearances against Leeds under 18s in the 2020-2021 season. So he is a goal-scoring midfielder as well. He's also an England under-19 international, making 2 appearances for the under-19s in 2022. 84th minute of the game now. It's Leeds 1, City 3. Pressure has been put on City, but I think they'll just about see this one out. Leeds quickly running out of time. As City play out from the back, it's with Stones in the box on the right-hand side. He has to go back to Edison, left-footed. A weak-footed clearance with his right foot towards Mahrez, but the header's won by Strauch. Falls to Rodri, volleys away with the right foot. Again, Strauch heads forward. Then we're brought down by Click towards Rocker. Lose that to Mahrez in his own half. And Stones scoops the ball over to Ake. He's got a bit of room on the left. He's had another good performance, I think. Ake at left back. Not his most natural position. 5.5 minutes to go for the 90. City still lead at Ellen Road. De Bruyne caught late there on the left-hand side. I think you can even see the stud marks, maybe. I think that's going to be a booking as well. I think that's Sam Greenwood with the booking, the man who got the assist for Leeds' goal. Let's have a look. He just burst away from Greenwood there and, yeah, just tripped him. Just tripped him. Sam Greenwood. It's Leeds' third yellow, fifth of the game between both sides. Gundogan over the free kicks. It's going to be laid into Ake in the left back area, even though he is pushed forward for Manchester City. So now João Cancelo, centre of the pitch. Like I say, City like using their full-backs to come into midfield areas. And João Cancelo does find De Bruyne. He's going to look to his left, and he finds Gundogan. Looks first time for Foden in the box. It's cleared in the end. It was just a bit behind the Englishman. But De Bruyne does recapture the ball for Manchester City and pokes down the line towards Foden. That's to be poked away and out by Robin Koch, the German international. And it does just look like Leeds might run out of time to complete this comeback that they were looking for. Ake with the throw. He's got the return from Gundogan. He takes on Luke Ayling. He works across in himself towards the near post. Diego Llorente has to clear. Wasn't very convincing, and Mark Rockers fell over the ball. City still have the possession in a dangerous position of the pitch as well. Foden wins the throw-in. Ake. Into Haaland towards the corner flag, kicks it off Robin Koch, and win himself a corner. Must be a very windy night at Ellen Road. The corner flag is literally nearly falling down. It's that windy. Cole Palmer will look to make a late substitute appearance, but he's not going to be able to get on the pitch just yet. De Bruyne to Curler with the right boot towards Rodri, heads it forward towards Ake. Shot by Stones in the end, and it's launched over the bar. He was off balance. I think he was leaning back when he shot because he was off balance there, John Stones. Not really known for his goal scoring anyway. Fell to him as Robin Koch couldn't clear. Over the bar it went. Change for City late on. Riyad Mahrez, number 26, will be replaced by number 80, Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer joined Manchester City at the age of 7 in 2009. Making his 8th appearance in the Premier League. He's yet to start one yet, but it's always good for him to get minutes. It's Meslier with the goal kick. 2 minutes of the 90 to go. Towards Luke Ayling, headed won by Foden. Always finds Koch, who clears. Ake intercepts. Now Gundogan, who heads it back to Akanji. Loop back forward. Always finds the head of Diego Llorente. Drops in the end for Rodri. He just volleys back to Edison. He's got time to take a touch. Assess his options. He plays it to the right to Stones. Plays him a little bit short there and he gives away the ball. It's now Giabi. Into Nonso on the left-hand side. He's going to run it. João Cancelo plays it inside to Mateusz Klich. Drops to Giabi. Can he get a shot away? He can. It's blocked. It falls to Gelhardt. Foden ends up clearing. Koch plays it forward. Greenwood around 25 yards out on the right-hand side. Hasn't got enough options. Takes on Gundogan. Tackle by Foden. Throw in for Leeds. Taken quickly down the line by Greenwood. Looking for Mateusz Klich. But Ake will get there first and deals with it superbly. The Dutchman, and Haaland tries to hold it up, and he wins a throw-in for his side. Tackled by Darko Giabi. Ake to take the throw. Finds Gundogan in his own half. Stones, first time back to Edison. Just about gets there. Nonso was chasing down the ball, and he nearly got there. But Edison was able to smash it away. Strauch looking for Matej Klich down the left-hand side. It's a header won by Manchester City, but it's only followed by Gelhardt, who plays it forward to Giarbi. Out wide right, it goes to Luke Ayling, who's got forward in the box towards the byline. Gets it across! The side netting, I think it was, by Joe Gelhardt. He's been a real thorn in Manchester City's side since he's come on and replaced Rodrigo. He had a chance close on with 10 minutes to go, and he had a chance there. Oh, it actually came off a Kanji. So it's a corner for Leeds. 5 minutes of added on time. We've got 4.5 minutes to play in this match. Mark Rocker to swing it in. It's an in-swinger. It's a left footer. And it goes towards Edison, who can catch. Easy collection for the Brazilian. And although he's not able to keep a clean sheet, he is on his way to win his 150th Premier League match in 197 appearances. That is quite unbelievable. He's only failed to win in 47 games, Edison. And he's been at the club now since 2017. That is impressive. And that's impressive from De Bruyne, getting away from Greenwood. And a left-footed ball out wide right to Cole Palmer, who brings it down in the final third. Shifts it onto his left foot, back onto his right. Left again. Finds Cancelo on the edge. Palmer. Now back to Stones. 3.5 minutes to go. Rodri. Ball in behind, chipped in for Cole Palmer. Gets there to Llorente. Can he get a goal in the Premier League? He lays it off to Cancelo instead. Shot blocked. Haaland shoots blocked as well. De Bruyne on the edge. Gets himself towards the corner flag on the right, where he tries to kick it off one of the players for a corner. He loses out to Giarbi, and that's going to be a booking for Cole Palmer. He knows it as well. Darko Giarbi was trying to send Leeds away there to try and maybe get a consolation goal at this point. Third booking for City in the game. That joins Rico Lewis, Rodri, and himself, Cole Palmer. 3 minutes to go. It's been an enthralling game. I've really enjoyed it. Leeds defended decently in the first half, but just lost concentration right before half-time. And in the second half, they've attacked decently, but that's only when they went 3-0 down. And then at that point, it's just too late. Edson on the ball for City. Leeds lose it from their free kick. Kanji in his 18-yard box. He goes across to John Stones. Haaland is being named man of the match, but I think a good shout-out, it's got to go to Grealish, because he got the 2 assists for Haaland's goals, and Grealish in the second half was very, very good. He missed some big chances in the first half, but he overcame that and provided 2 fabulous assists for his teammate. Llorente. Back to Ilan Meslier for Leeds United, under 2 minutes to go. At Ellen Road. Ball through from Koch to Rocker. Tries to sell away Joe Gelhardt. Again, Ake, I think he's been unbelievable tonight. Nathan Ake, a left back. Sweeps the danger up again for Manchester City. Here's Cole Palmer in his own half. Works with Cancelo and Ake to get it away. And to breathe some room here for City as Akanji has the ball now. To Gundogan. This is all in the City half currently. Just chasing shadows here at the minute. Leeds United. Akanji bursts forward from centre half. Foden just lays it into Cancelo. He's on the left-hand side. He's brought on a right-back. That's how much freedom these Manchester City players have. Just over a minute left. I'm not sure we'll be able to get another goal here. City have seemed to take the foot off the gas. Obviously got a big game coming up in 3 days' time at home to Everton. Could be a bit of a goal fest there. Everton struggling at the minute. Currently in 17th. Cancelo loses out to Giarbi, and it's now Nonto. He's been a danger all night, but not quite at the end product, and this time he's been tackled by Cancelo as he tried to cut in onto his right foot from the left-hand side. Cancelo finds De Bruyne. It's a big sweeping ball to the left-hand side looking for Phil Foden, and it's cleared up in the end by Ilan Meslier, the sweeper keeper. 30 seconds to go. And it looks like City will be closing the gap to Arsenal to 5 points with the 3 points they've gained from tonight's game. throw-in will be left for Nathan Ake to take. It's Gundogan in the Leeds United half. Tackled there by Joe Gelhardt. We have played the 5 minutes of added on time. And there we go. The whistle is blown by Stuart Atwell. It's finished here at Ellen Road. Leeds United 1, Manchester City 3. It was a dominant performance from Pep Guardiola's men. They ended up having 26 shots tonight with 70% of the possession. The goal scoring started right on the edge of the first half, where Rodri in the 46th minute bundled home the ball after Mahrez's shot was saved. But during that first half, it was chance after chance after chance, especially for Jack Grealish. But they weren't able to take one until the end of the first half. And then the second half started, and they bagged their second goal, and it was the first for Erling Haaland. Jack Grealish pounced on an error between the two Leeds centre-halves, galloped forward, squared it for Haaland, open net, easy goal for the Norwegian, and he doubled his account for the game in the 64th minute as well, with a beautiful right-footed finish as well to make it 2-0 to City, and for him to get his third brace of the season, and to make it 3-1. 3-0 to Manchester City. A consolation goal was made by Pascal Struijk in the 73rd minute from a corner. They pushed. They had a close chance in the 80th minute with Joe Gelhardt, where it just went past the post, but it was a little bit too late for Leeds United, and they fall to the hands of Manchester City. It's the first time City have won 3 games in a row against Leeds since 1980 to 1982. Rico Lewis, special mention, it's his first start in the Premier League, 18-year-old. He played about 70 minutes. He was unbelievable. And in the end, I just think Manchester City had too much power for Leeds United. Warm embraces. Around the field, a lot of links between the two sets of players. Obviously, Calvin Phillips didn't quite get on the field in the end, but obviously he was signed from Leeds United in the summer for around £45 million. He's obviously very aware of everyone on that field for Leeds United. Obviously, Haaland knows Jesse Marsch, played under him at RB Salzburg. Erling Haaland, and he knows a lot of people as well who played for RB Salzburg while he was there, the likes of Rasmus Christensen, the right back, who was subbed off in the end. But I don't think there's any shame at all for Jesse Marsch and his side being beaten tonight. Definitely positives you can take. Definitely second half. First half was pretty poor attacking, and defensively they were okay, but it always looked like City could score. And thankfully for Eli Meslier, the score was only 1-0 at half time. But second half, again, defensively just made a few errors here and there. Attacking, they were a lot better, but like I say, sometimes some teams are just better than you, and sometimes you just have to accept that fact, and I think that's tonight. Leeds United are not a bad team at all, but they were just met by a much better side than them, who had the quality. And when you've got Erling Haaland up front, who's valued at £150 million, he's now got 20 Premier League goals already this season. He's only played 14 times in the league. He's failed to score in 3 of those 14. 26 now for the season, all competitions. What can you do? What can you do? But that's going to be the end of tonight's stream. Thank you very much for joining. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe if you're new as well. Festive games are over. New Year is upon us. New Year is probably just going to be the exact same Haaland. He's finished this year, and he'll be finishing this year like he's started every other year, scoring goals for fun. He's back 2 against Leeds tonight. City score 3. They gain 3 points. They go from 3rd to 2nd, 5 points behind Arsenal. And will they be able to chase them and win the Premier League? Once again, we'll have to wait and see. But for tonight, it ends at Leeds United 1, Manchester City 3.